Hey everybody, this is Doris. Welcome to my channel. So I participated in the Nik the Booksmith Deserted Island Challenge, and I wanted to share with everybody my journal that I came up with. So we were given 4 givens by Nik, and those 4 givens are needle and thread, paper, scissors, and glue. And then we were allowed 4 of our own choices to add to the 4 givens. And my 4 choices are chipboard for the cover, a micron pen in brown with kind of a brush tip, and then my vintage photo ink pad and some fabric. So the fabric that I used is this muslin here, and I created this muslin, actually the imprint on it, through Nik the Booksmith Teachable, and it was a way to create kind of faux eco-dyed fabric and using stamps and coffee dyeing. And it was a lot of fun. So I had this big square of fabric. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, and then when this challenge came along, I thought, well, that would be perfect. So that's what I used it for. And so there's the front. You can see a lot of the coffee dyeing on there. In the back and the spine. So I've got 3 signatures in here. Some little tabs and things that stand out, and fabric with some stitching. And my book is called Stranded for obvious reasons. So I made a fabric tie closure, and so let's get started on the inside. So on the first page, now just to actually let you know too that all my coffee dyed paper that I make, a lot of times I'll lay leaves and things on there, so it leaves impressions. And so in my stack of papers I had a lot of that, and I thought it went really well with the fabric that I used for the cover. So you'll see that throughout this book. So on the first page there's a quote by Robinson Crusoe, and it says, "It is never too late to be wise." And then the first page is a picture of the island, some shells, a compass rose with a shell that faces towards the north, and a little tab here with X marks the spot. Everything in here I had to hand draw because I didn't have any scrapbook paper. So it's all kind of monotone, using all the browns, but it makes it look vintage, so I think it works. And then on this page, some more drawn shells, and here I made like a little flip up with it for notes. And then here is just a piece of paper. It says "My Journey," just a place to write some journal information about the island. Here is a picture, a little drawing of a seahorse, a blank page, a pocket with a faux paper ruffle, well, not faux, with a paper ruffle with stitching on it. And here's a tag that I made with, this is a little fringe that's made out of paper and fabric. Picture of a starfish. And then here the ruffle kind of goes over the edge, so it was made like a tab. And here is a little drawing of a flower. This is a little pocket too, a little short pocket with some shells. Some pictures of island ferns. This is a little fabric with stitching X's and shell. A flower on the side of the tab. This is fabric ruffle with stitching. Picture of bird of paradise. And some leaves. And this is another tag I made, and it flips up here, and there's a paper flower. And then it also opens this way. So that just tucks right in there. And then a pocket made out of the fabric with some drawn stitching around the edge. And then this tag has another quote by Robinson Crusoe. And here's some more not fabric. Here's some more leaf impressions. This is a little pocket, and in here is an envelope with "To whom it may concern." And inside it has the personal information of the woman who was stranded on the island, and so that if she's never rescued, but her book is found, her journal is found, they will know who she was. And then here's another little quote, another piece of ephemera that I drew. And these little squares are my stamp pad that I just stamped down and then drew, drawing and cut it out and glued it down. Picture of the island and some leaves. Here's a little quote by Buddha that says, "To keep the body in good health is a duty. Otherwise, we shall not be able to keep our mind strong and clear." So you have to have a strong and clear mind when you are living by yourself on an island and trying to survive. So I thought it was an appropriate quote. And then here is just another tag with some lines for writing, and I did a little leaf stencil. And then this tucks under this little shell. And it says, "In the end, all I learned was how to be strong alone." And here's a little lone starfish here. And then this is in the shape of an envelope, but it opens to a full-size piece of paper for journaling. And then inside, it's tucked inside this little belly band here. Here is another little quote, and it tucks inside this little bird image here. And it says, "Standing alone doesn't mean I am alone. It means I am strong enough to handle things all by myself." A flower with some stitching and a little paper flower pot, basically. Here's a little, this is just a short little belly band, and then this was some extra fabric that I had that I just tucked in there so we could have some extra fabric if we need it. And then here it says, "It's good to be alone to learn how not to be defined by another person." And there's two palm trees there. This is a pocket, and I drew this this flower, and then I made the stamen with thread. And then here is just a piece of paper, and it had a really pretty imprint on there. And so I just put this paper in here for journaling. Some leaves and blank sheet. This is a double pocket here, and then I made this little flip up. It has a little paper bead that I made. It says flowers on it, and then inside it says, "Living is not enough. One must have sunshine, freedom, and a little flower." And that's by Hans Christian Andersen. Here's another pocket with fabric. It's a fabric pocket, and then I made this little booklet, field notes, for taking out when you're exploring the island, so you can write notes in there. And then here is a stream that runs through, and it says, "The tide recedes but leaves behind bright seashells on the sand. The sun goes down, but gentle warmth still lingers on the land." And I stitched a little palm tree on this piece of fabric and put that down there. And then some blank paper. And then this is my third signature, and this is just a little flip out, so you can write or draw on either side. And then it just tucks under here, and this is the little piece of paper that I cut out for my stencil that I was using, and then just some fabric there. And then this one says, "A seashell is never empty. It is filled with many things. It holds the sounds of crashing waves and songs that mermaids sing." I thought that was really sweet. And then here I drew a fish, and this is a triple pocket. There's 3 pockets here. And then on this tag, I drew the bubbles that went all the way up, so no matter which pocket it's in, the bubbles go all the way up to the surface. And then a leaf and a couple of seashells. This is another pocket here with some little lace, faux lace, paper lace that I made, and a little paper flower, and a piece of fabric for the edge of the pocket. And then here is another little pocket here, and some lines for writing. And this is little Herman, the seagull, who brings fish to the woman who is stranded on the island. And he likes to walk around the page. That's little Herman, the little island buddy. And here's a little fish. This is the SOS page. So I created some palm trees using torn paper. And then I braided some of the thread and made these little SOS flags, so they kind of hang, you know, when you're looking at the book. Some more fish. I hope I'm in frame here. Yep. This is a little fabric band. Not fabric, I'm sorry. A little lace, faux paper lace with some stitching. And then a piece of some paper that was glued down, and it says, "A life that touches the hearts of others lives on forever." And I love that saying because it's so true. Here's a little corner pocket with an envelope with a little tucks into this little band here. Another pocket, and this paper I crinkled up, and then I took my vintage photo and rubbed it on there to make it look sort of leatherish, I guess you could say. And then I made a little notepad here with a lot of paper in there, so nice little notepad to write notes on. And here we have, I took my needle and I poked holes in this piece of paper. See if you can see it. It says "help." And it is reminiscent of the shoreline with the rocks spilling out "help" on the shoreline. That's what it reminded me of. And it's a pocket, and inside the pocket is this little tag with this letter. "Have seen better days," but it was a letter that she wrote to her dearest love, talking about being stranded on the island, and in hopes that someday he will get this letter. And then that is the end. And this page has some more leaf impressions on it. And that's the end of the book. So it ties together. And this was a lot of fun. This was a great, fun challenge. And it was challenging, only being able to use 8 items to create this. So thank you, Nick. I hope that you can come up with another challenge because you got a really good response with this one, and it was a lot of fun. So thanks for watching, everyone, and bye for now.